Good afternoon, everyone. Congressman Tom Rooney here, and as promised, here's an update on this past week in Congress. Yesterday, the House passed a budget agreement that I could not bring myself to vote for. This budget agreement increases the debt limit without addressing the real drivers of our national debt. It's always been my condition that if the debt should be raised, then we must also show the American people that we are working to actually fix the debt. This bill doesn't do that. I could not support the drastic cuts also to our crop insurance that was in this bill. Florida's farmers did their part to help rein in the debt when we passed the Farm Bill back in 2014. And the President told Congress that he would work to stop these cuts from actually happening in the future, but frankly, I simply do not trust the President's promise for a promise to support my farmers' economic future. I hope that this next chapter of Congress, led by our new Speaker, Paul Ryan, will include all of the committee's input into the process of making these big budget decisions instead of just a few people at the top dictating the agreement. Yesterday I voted for Paul, and I listened to his promise to wipe the slate clean and to start a new chapter in the House of Representatives. I'm willing to give him a chance, and I hope you will too. I think he's exactly the type of leader that our party needs to be successful in the House. During his time as chairman of the House Budget and the House Ways and Means Committees, Paul Ryan has fought to cut spending, lower taxes, and balance the budget. He is one of the, if not the most hardworking members in this institution with strong conservative convictions. I'm excited about the future of the House under his leadership, and I look forward to hearing his ideas on how we can get this country back on track. This week, the House also voted to reauthorize the Export-Import Bank, whose charter expired in July. The so-called EXIM Bank of the United States is an independent, self-sustaining agency that helps to finance the export of American goods and services, which in turn helps support hundreds of thousands of American jobs. The EXIM Bank has been deemed by some opponents as crony capitalism. This is a false claim that's been used as a tool for political action groups to raise money for themselves. Nearly every industrialized country in the world has an export financing program for their manufacturers, and the United States must as well for the American companies to compete in the global market. The EXIM Bank is good for Florida businesses. 95% of all Florida exporters are small and medium-sized companies. In the state of Florida alone, 52,000 jobs were supported by the EXIM Bank last year. Companies in Florida rely on the EXIM Bank, and I refuse to choose political posturing over my constituents' jobs, 52,000 in Florida, and that's why I voted to reauthorize the bank. Not to mention the bank actually makes the Treasury money, something that you don't hear about. Yesterday, I also spoke at the unveiling of the first ever National Public Health Agenda for lupus, which is a long overdue whole-of-government approach to lupus that includes community and private sector partners in the development of an all-of-the-above public health approach to lupus. I am proud to offer my support to the agenda and hope that it helps move the needle for lupus treatment and care. I formed the Congressional Lupus Caucus during my first term in Congress on behalf of my cousin Kathleen, who suffered from the disease and passed away when she was just in her early 30s. We now have 58 members in Congress from both sides of the aisle and from all over the country. I hope that our efforts can make a real difference in future lupus policy to produce better outcomes for those suffering from this disease. And finally today, as we say goodbye to Speaker John Boehner, I would like to thank him for his service. I have had no greater mentor in this institution than John, and I truly believe he did the best he could with what he was given. Mr. Speaker, thank you for 25 years of service. You will be missed. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this message today, and I hope you and your family all have a great weekend. Happy Halloween.